Excuse me, when should we hand it in? We should hand it in next week. Why next week? Because the deadline's next week. Hand is mano. Okay. To hand in is entregar. Se supone con la mano. To hand in, cuando entregas tu ensayo, tu composición, tu trabajo, lo entregas al profesor, ¿no? You hand it in. To hand in. Excuse me, teacher, here's my composition. Thank you. To hand in. When should we hand it in? Hand it in. When should we? ¿Cuándo deberíamos o cuándo tenemos que? When do we or when should we hand it in? The deadline is next week. Deadline. Muerta línea. Dead de muerto, line de línea. Todo junto, como muerta línea, es la fecha tope. En español habláis de plazos. El plazo es 2 semanas. Pero nosotros hablamos de fecha final, fecha tope. The deadline is next week. O sea, la fecha tope es la semana próxima. The deadline is next week. We should hand it in by next week, because next week is the deadline.
Hello and welcome to a new class. I hope you're ready today. All right, let's look at our sentence. It's, when should we hand it in? The deadline's next week. ¿Cuándo deberíamos entregarlo? La fecha límite es la semana que viene. So, la pregunta aquí es, when should we? Okay, ¿cuándo deberíamos tal? So, ojo, con preguntas siempre usamos la fórmula de auxiliar, sujeto y verbo básico, ¿ok? O sea, el infinitivo. Entonces, when should we do it? ¿Cuándo deberíamos hacerlo? When should we do it? Y ojo, when should we, no decimos to do, nunca metemos to ahí. When should we do it? ¿Ok? ¿Cuándo deberíamos hacerlo? When should we leave? ¿Cuándo deberíamos marcharnos o irnos? When should we call him? Okay, when should we buy it? ¿Cuándo deberíamos comprarlo? So remember, when should we, when should he, when should I, etcétera, etcétera, cambiando el sujeto, okay? Pero siempre auxiliar, sujeto, verbo. When should he go? When should I do it?
Hello, good morning. I'm calling on behalf of Mr. Pilgrim, the manager here. Oh. Well, when should I call then? Yeah, that's right. When should I call? ¿Cuándo debería llamar? When should I call? So, when should I call? Should I call later? Yeah, okay. How rude. He told me I should call later. He's not the only one who's busy around here. So, when is later? When should I call? Bueno, me da igual. Hi, I called earlier on behalf of Mr. Pilgrim and... Well, who should I call then? Okay. And when should I call them? And what should I say to the operator? Okay, and what should I say if they don't know? Yeah, okay, thanks for your help. People in offices, they just don't know what they're doing.
Ok, muy bien, ya estamos con la segunda parte. Vamos a mirar la frase. When should we hand it in? The deadline's next week. ¿Cuándo deberíamos entregarlo? La fecha límite es la semana que viene o la próxima semana. Okay, here we're going to look at the verb to hand in. Es un phrasal verb, okay? El verbo to hand más preposición in, okay? To hand in, okay? Now, significa entregar algo, que suele ser un trabajo, okay, una solicitud o también un billete, cuando entregas un billete, ¿no? En el tren o el metro y tal. So, to hand something in es un phrasal verb separable. ¿Qué significa? Por ejemplo, I have to hand in the report, or I have to hand the report in, right? El informe, the report, puede ir después del phrasal verb o entre las dos partes. Tengo que entregar el informe. I have to hand the report in or I have to hand in the report. Pero ojo, cuando es un pronombre objeto, tiene que ir entre. I have to hand it in, okay? So I have to hand in my homework, right? Tengo que entregar mis deberes. I have to hand it in.
Look at this. It's my latest masterpiece. That's right, I'm going to the European Summer Art Expo. And when I hand this in, everybody is going to be amazed. When I hand it in, everyone is going to be talking about me. It's going to be a great moment when I hand this in. That's right, when I hand it in. Entregar. To hand in. To deliver. To hand in. When I hand it in. When I hand this in, I'm going to become famous. Everybody is going to realize how great an artist I am when I hand it in. Everybody's going to want to be there when I hand it in. They'll be surprised when I hand it in. I'm almost ready to hand it in. Actually, it's ready now. I mean, the painting is finished. I could hand it in now if I wanted to. Anyhow, I'm going to go hand it in, and as soon as I hand it in, they're going to recognize my skills, my abilities. I'm going to be famous.
Ok, bien, ya llegamos a la última parte de la lección. So, the sentence is, when should we hand it in? The deadline's next week. ¿Cuándo deberíamos entregarlo? La fecha límite es la semana que viene. So, aquí usamos the deadline is y con la contracción, the deadlines. Y deadline significa fecha límite. Es una sola palabra, deadline, deadline. Entonces, do you have a lot of deadlines? Yes, Hannah, I have a lot of deadlines. I have a deadline next week. Entonces, también relacionado con deadline tenemos la palabra del día que es prioridad. En inglés, ¿cómo es? Priority. Repeat. Priority. Muy bien. Entonces, if you have a deadline, that means you have a project or a job that is a priority, right? Que es una prioridad. So repeat. We always have a lot of deadlines, Hannah. I had a deadline last week. Next week, I have another deadline. Tengo otra fecha límite. So how many deadlines do you have every week? Hannah, I usually have 2 deadlines every week. So keep practicing the word deadline, deadline, okay? And priority, la palabra del día. See you next time. Bye.
I'm very, very, very stressed today. Not stressful. Stressful es estresante. I'm stressed, estresado. I'm not stressful, but my day is stressful. Do you know why? Because we have to turn in. Yeah, we have to hand in, to turn in, entregar. We have to hand in the annual safety report. Yeah, it's the safety report we do annually about the park. And we have to turn it in. Yeah, well, the deadline is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's the deadline. I can't hand it in 2 days from now. I have to hand it in tomorrow. Lo tengo que entregar mañana. Tomorrow's the deadline. Yeah, the deadline. Fecha límite. Yeah, en inglés es línea muerta. The deadline. Yeah, the deadline is the last day I can hand it in or turn it in. And you know life is full of deadlines. Yeah, fechas límite. It's full of deadlines. Oh, man, I have a lot of deadlines. I have to do my taxes. Yeah, I have that deadline. I have to, of course, the safety report. That's my biggest deadline. Why am I talking to you? I have a lot of work to do.